Excellent!
Guys, it's the end of January. That means it's time for the Nuremberg Toy Fair. In this year's video, I want to cover Tamiya, Kyosho, and Rlaarlo to see what all these RC companies brought to the table this year. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into the action and see what's going on over there in Germany. There's Tamiya sporting their professional look. Man, they do put on a good show. I'll give them that. This one right here, guys, the Fighter Next Gen DT04. I think this is the highlight from the Tamiya booth. You guys, this is all over social media right now. I don't need to go through and explain it all to you guys, but you know what's going on with this guy. This is kind of the love child of a DT02, DT03 meets BBX. Kind of geared toward entry-level RC enthusiasts. The price point seems to be a little bit expensive, but adjustable wheelbase 265 to 280. You got molded body panels on there, which is super neat. Very kind of a different design for Tamiya. We'll get into how the body opens up in a second here, but overall, I'm really liking the way it looks. I love the DT02, I love the DT03, I love the BBX. Seeing all three of them kind of come together into this, I love it. I love the driver figure. You know, I've been kind of humming and hawing over it for the last 24 hours, and it's really warmed up on me. I like it a lot. Oh, here's some photos that I was able to find. I'll pause it here for a second. So here's a nice overlay of the exact layout of the chassis. You see the longitudinal battery pack, ESC and receiver on kind of these side pods. You know, recycled wheels and tires. We've seen these a million times. Same with the CVAs. But overall, looks like a pretty straightforward design that that should be pretty robust too. Installing the battery pack, that's kind of cool. You lift up the top, the driver moves out of the way. There's our box art. Looks like it comes with a Hobbywing 1060 and torque tune motor. A little front kick-up, which is nice. And a couple color options. The kit comes with both colors of decals as well, so you can pick red or blue depending on how you want to go about your build. Hop-up options, they got a full ball bearing set. From what I heard, it does come with some ball bearings, I believe, for the steering. And there's like a cam lock that opens up the top. There your driver comes out. That's how you get your battery out. That's pretty cool. I like what they did with this one. Both sticker colors there, red and blue. A little bit of action there. Classic Tamiya running video. What do you guys think about this buggy? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, Tamiya sets up a nice area where you can test their cars, which I think is cool. I've seen Kyosho do this in the past. I don't think they did it this year. At least from the footage I was able to gather, I didn't see it, but it's neat to see this. I like that you can test the cars out. And here, looking at the DT04, look at the suspension. Like, it actually handles pretty well. With that 280 mil wheelbase too, you gotta kind of stretch it out a little bit. I think you have a little more nimble handling. Little bit of body roll there as he makes his turn. Boom, you can see the body roll. It looks good. I mean, it's hooking up on carpet, but still, I mean, everything about this one screams yes to me. Moving on. Tanks. I don't know anything about Tamiya tanks or RC tanks, so bear with me, tank enthusiasts, please. All I can say is what I observe, and this thing, these is Leopard 2 A7B. I think there's a couple of them. This one, oh, that's the same one. Maybe it's all the same one, but guys, this thing just looks so cool. I gotta get into these one of these days. And here they get it. Yeah, they get it out in their little testing grounds here. How cool would this be to be able to test one of these out real time? And in a little bit, you'll see they've got the headlights are functional, and even, you know, out of that giant missile launcher thing out the front there, lights up red, makes a sound. And there's even guns on the side of it that kind of light up and make gun sounds. There it is. Boom, boom. That is so cool. Moving on, more BMW and Mini product releases planned in the future. Stay tuned. So all of my friends, all my homies in the UK, I know you boys are super stoked to see the Mini back. Here in North America, I mean, these cars, this version of the car never really hit the streets. The more modern Minis did, but I know in the UK that means a lot to you guys. A lot of you guys really seem to love that body, so I know you're stoked for that. Some nice BMW offerings here too, guys. Look at these, looking really nice. There's the Mini on the track. And this one's coming out on the MB-01 chassis. You guys that have been following my channel will know that I am not a fan of the MB-01 or its larger brother, the BT-01. But you know, that's been my experience. Some guys love it, and that's been their experience. So to each their own. At least you can see it zipping around the track there. So moving on, again, we're still on the MB-01 chassis here. This Volkswagen Golf body is absolutely gorgeous. I would love to see something like this done up with like in that old brown color with a little bit of rust on the fenders. You know what I mean? Like weathered and worn out looking, faded clear coat on the hood. They're beautiful cars. Yeah, they did a nice job with that one. This Peugeot body, again, living in North America, we don't really see Peugeots on the road out here. You guys out in the UK and in Europe, you know all about Peugeot. This is a good looking rally car, actually. This body, actually, I quite enjoy it. It looks great. It's just on the wrong chassis again. I believe this one's on the BT-01, which is a 10 scale, whereas the MB-01's a little bit smaller, like a 12 scale. It does look beautiful though, I'll give them that. There's the BT-01 chassis right there. Kind of an interesting idea that they had where you had all these options. You could have the motor mounted in the back and be rear wheel drive, or you could be back, motor in the front and rear wheel drive, and motor in the front wheel drive, something like that. It's 3 different configurations. I've tried them all and I didn't like them all. That was my experience. There's so much slop. That's what it is. It's a very sloppy chassis. This Porsche Carrera body, guys, is beautiful. I wish I knew what they did with the panel line there. If that's paint or if that was panel line tape, because it's just absolutely perfect. But that's a beauty there. I think that one's on the BT-01 chassis there as well, which again, not a fan of, but the body, the wheels, they did a great job. And here's our MB-01, slightly smaller brother to the BT-01. And you can see, like, look at those, where those upper tie rod arms are, how high up they are. There's just like the geometry, the slop geometry. It's out of this world. Here we go. You guys know all about this, but low motor position, high motor position in the rear, or front motor. I found I had the best luck having the motor in the front and having it front wheel drive. You're kind of pulling the slop as opposed to pushing the slop. Moving on, guys, this is not a new chassis, the XM01. I believe it's Pro. This has been out for a year now. They got some hop-up options for it. I wanted to include it in this video, though, because it is a gorgeous looking chassis. Little on the pricey side, if you ask me. They definitely priced me out of it. These are about 450 Canadian dollars. That's before, like, without body. I don't believe it comes with a motor either, so that one's a little crazy. Here are some nice new Audi bodies for the Tamiya TT02. I think they did a good job with this R8, guys. It's gorgeous. And this one, Audi 90 Quattro Racing, looks great. Nice spoiler on the back there, the window mesh. Yeah, good job with those two bodies for sure. And then this Porsche up top here, 911 GTR, I think it is. Absolutely beautiful. Onto the Riris, onto City Turbo. I'm gonna pause it real quick here, guys, because I know so many of you guys are excited about this. Again, I think I see more excitement out of the UK crowd, the Europe crowd. In Canada, we didn't see this Honda City Turbo thing. In real life, so it's just not as exciting, I think, for us over here. But this is an iconic Tamiya. It's coming out on the WR02 chassis, which is a good chassis, very short wheelbase, likes to wheelie, robust, it's tough, and yeah, it's kind of got the iconic look, and of course with wheelie driving. You know, it's cool. I think it's a must-have for any collector that, you know, has a good Tamiya collection, so I probably will get one. But it just doesn't do it for me personally. The big wig, yes, I'm excited about this one. Not everybody is. The Big Pig is great. Oh, the Tamiya Super Astute, that was recently re-released, and the Hornet Evo also recently released, worth a notable mention. This big bad boy, these transport trucks, again, another segment of the hobby that I've just never gotten into. But man, look how nice this looks. These things are just absolutely beautiful. If I had more room, like, I'd have to buy like a bigger house just to store all this stuff. You know what I mean? They're big, they're gorgeous. He's gonna drive it in a bit. And it's just, they're so elegant the way they move. The big 3-speed gearbox in there. Look at that scale fuel tank there. All that checker plate. Man, so nice. The 40-foot container in the back. Crazy. And here it is, zipping around the track. This, like, they just look amazing the way they just elegantly move around. They're not cheap though, you know, so it's one of those things. If you get into it, what are you going to do with it? It's really almost a display piece that can be driven around every now and then if you want to drive it around, but even driving it around, you need kind of perfect road conditions. I would hate to roll that thing over. I can't imagine the kind of damage it would cause. But yeah, that is absolutely gorgeous. Kind of the highlights there from Tamiya. Oh, and I think I got one more coming. Oh yeah, we do. We got one more coming up. But little more action with this bad boy. Beauty. Here we go. Don't have a ton of footage on this. I'm sorry, guys, but a TRF Pro F1 car. Looks gorgeous. The 104. Moving on to Kyosho. Kyosho looking a little calmer, a little cooler than Tamiya again. Just in the terms of their displays here. This is the highlight of the Kyosho booth, guys. The new the Phaser Drift. This is the Toyota AE86 body, clipless body. I'm really happy to see that they've decided to go clipless. You can't go wrong with an AE86. These cars are just stunning. I think they're loved in any market around the world. Everybody loves the look of these. The pop-up headlights. I love the yellowed kind of fog lights with the yellow-ish headlights. Not super bright LED style. Looks so good. And there's the chassis. We've got a crazy steering angle. Look at this nice, this red anodized motor plate. We got crazy steering in this thing. I guess all drifters like that. Again, I'm not a big drift guy either, but this is a must-do in the world of drift from what I understand. So that is super cool to see. The wheelbase is adjustable there through the different screw hole options, so you can fit different bodies. And look at them, just such an interesting design. The motor sitting way up high like that, a big cooling fan there, giant spur, big pinion too. Those brushless Le Mans motors are so beautiful. And look at that ESC on the back, that Le Mans ESC. Like, it looks like it all mirrored up. It's beautiful. I gotta get my hands on one of those. I've never used one before. Here's the rest of the Kyosho booth. None of this stuff is new from what I understand. You know, the Mad Wagon's been around for a while. This is exciting here. The 20th anniversary Ultima. This is cool. I love the colors on it. I love the shocks, everything about it. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I think the price point isn't too bad. This would be one that I'd like to grab and get into my collection. Some of these, 20th anniversary kits from Kyosho have been pretty pricey. The Dune Master, kind of mixed feelings. This isn't a brand new kit. This came out last year. But guys, I'm a big fan of it personally. I love the way it looks. I love the Dirt Cross. I love, which is kind of the cousin to this one. I like what they've done with the body, kind of lowered the top, chopped the back off, got the motor sticking out the back. I think it looks great, personally. I know not everybody does, but I do. All plastic construction there. Price points are good on these ones too. They're not too expensive. Plastic oil-filled shocks. You're not getting all the super high-end components. The Phaser MK2 Rally. I've got that exact model with the Subaru body, and I love that car. It is so good. There is so much suspension travel in one of these Phaser MK2 Rallies. If you're looking at getting a rally car, I couldn't recommend them enough. I am a big fan of these. This one with the Datsun body just looks so good. Put some headlights in there, it looks even better. What a beauty. I haven't seen this Mercedes-Benz body before. This might be new. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But this one here looks absolutely gorgeous as well. I don't see like a new sticker beside it, so it might have been out for a while. I just haven't seen it anywhere. All these other ones I've seen before. So I kind of cut the video short a little bit because these aren't new, but I had to include that Mercedes-Benz. That Chevy Bel Air beside this one. Oh, man, it's so good. Man, they're gorgeous. They're they call them ultra high, ultra realistic or something, detailed bodies. They're awesome. And this is kind of rounding out the last bit of the Kyosho stuff here, guys, where they've got their Mini Z lineup. Man, look at them all. There are so many of these. The Mini Zs are actually quite expensive for what they are. So I haven't bought one myself, so I don't have a ton of experience with them, but everybody I know that owns one seems to love it. And here, I mean, they've got to be extremely successful. You can see how many different body types they have. They've got, you know, cars and trucks and everything else in between. Some buggies coming up here in a second. Jeeps. Yeah, the Mini Z seems to be a winner no matter what way you go with it. This guy got the big lift kit but couldn't afford the tire upgrade. All right, moving on to Rlaarlo. Quick little view. This one is the big one, JK07 Pro. This is their big daddy that they revealed at the show here this year. It's like very much a Jeep Gladiator inspired four-wheel drive crawler or off-road trail truck kind of a rig. The scale, it looks like a 7 scale. It looks gigantic. And all of these amazing accessories they have on it. The big awning and the ladder and the light bar across the front and the front bumper. The rooftop tent, man, it looks so good. Everything else that we're seeing here, these aren't new releases from Rlaarlo. This stuff's been out for a while. Except this one, the TK07 is still quite new. I don't think this one has hit the shelves just yet. And I personally, this is another one, I really like the look of it. Kind of has that old Jeep kind of Comanche look, if you ask me. I'm a big fan, but I've never driven one of their crawlers before, so I can't speak for drivability. I have driven the X12S and I loved it. It was insane. I was throwing 16-foot high backflips with it. XDS F10, guys, I think I made 3 videos with that rally car. I was absolutely in love with the XDS F10. I can't say enough good things about it. It's absolutely insane. It kind of defies the laws of what RC cars are supposed to do, in my opinion. And there's the finishing shot there, the JK07 Pro, looking really good. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about this year's offerings here at the Nuremberg Toy Fair. I think some guys, from what I read online, were a little bit bummed out with Tamiya. I know myself personally, I was hoping to see a few more re-res. I really want to see a Nissan King Cab come back out. I'd do anything for a Nissan King Cab to come back out. Porsche 959, there were some grumblings about that, but that didn't happen. They did hit us with a big wig, and I love the big wig. A lot of people don't love the big wig, and I know it looks really funky, it looks really different, but I'll tell you guys what, Google Pikes Peak Racing, and that's what the big wig was sort of inspired by. There's a race that they're doing, I believe it's in Colorado, and yeah, it's called Pikes Peak, and they race up a mountain. So they've got these cars with crazy aerodynamics, weird hood scoops. So if you're wondering why the big wig looks the way it looks, that's the inspiration. It's the Pikes Peak Racing series, sort of an inspired vehicle. So check that out. It'll make a little more sense to you, then maybe you'll warm up to it. Either way, I love it. I've got one when they reread them last time, so I won't be getting that one. But man, yeah, I'm a little bit bummed that that Tamiya didn't re-release the King Cab, but I think that the DT04 is going to be a winner. As for Kyosho, their AE86 Phaser Drift, that looks like a home run. I haven't seen any review videos on it yet, but it looks like an absolute stunner. And Rlaarlo, I mean, guys, 2024 was a knock out of the park year for them. They just hit home run after home run after home run. They're dropping some giant scale crawlers on us again, starting off in 2025. I'm excited to see what else they bring. They've been bringing some heavy artillery to the table lately, and I'm really excited to see where this company goes. Keep your eyes on them. Guys, thanks so much for watching today's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That would mean a ton to me. Check out that description box. I've got affiliate links. I got raffles going on. I got coupon codes, all sorts of goodies down there that might interest you. And until next time, be excellent to each other.